Breaking news to get to right now out of the East San Gabriel Valley. You're taking a live look from SkyCal right now of a speedy, and I mean speedy pursuit of a black Jeep Grand Cherokee. CHP currently in pursuit.
Going quick, but CHP is really pursuing this very, very aggressively. They're also going pretty fast. So you can imagine those drivers on the road right now going about 70 miles, 65 miles an hour. And look how quickly that car is passing them as they make their way on the left-hand shoulder of the road there. Just super dangerous anytime we see any kind of pursuit. But when you start getting into numbers that stay consistently in the triple digits, Gio, this can continue to be a very dicey situation with, one wrong move being very, very dangerous.
And as has been the trend the last couple of days, because we've been seeing a number of pursuits, really. We also have Dave Avila on the phone with us as well. We're going to get with him in just a second, because I know he's trying to gather some more information on his own end as well. So we'll stretch for as long as we need to. But, I mean, this is the danger here, right? Because you're seeing all of this traffic, so much of it, in fact, and there's CHP just getting right up close to the back there and weaving in and out of so many cars and so many lanes. And at these speeds, it really rackets up the danger.
So let's put into perspective here too. So East San Gabriel Valley, that's what we're where we're looking at it right now. That 10 East in the carpool lane as he gets over to the left. But Gio, people are coming back from Thanksgiving. I noticed it on my way into work today. There was significantly more traffic. People either coming home or returning to wherever they were after visiting Los Angeles. So regardless of where you are right now, you're not going to be the only one on the road, and that's only going to heighten the risk here even more significantly.
Right, and this is a vehicle that packs a significant amount of horsepower too, so that's why it's getting up to speed so quickly. Aside from the fact that the driver is obviously wanting to move this quickly. What we don't know, as we typically don't in these early parts of a situation, is that if it's just one person, the driver, or if there's anybody else in the passenger seat. I mean, just last night we were on a prolonged stretch of time where we didn't know, and then it turns out
we thought it was one, and then all of a sudden two bailed.
Start bolting out. So a similar situation could be happening here, could not be. We're obviously still in the gathering information phase right now, but far left lane there in the HOV looks like,
look
and
at those
just
speeds.
zooming by.
It's just so, I mean, this is so concerning here to see somebody have absolutely no regard for the life of others. And you just think about one wrong turn of a person maybe trying to switch lanes or exit and completely throws everything into peril, because these are the speeds that really
and right now let's try and get to Dave here now, because I think he's ready to go. Dave, can you hear us all right? What are you learning on your end so far?
Right now they're kind of just going between what division's going to take this over, but as far as I can tell, they've been on it now for about 30 minutes.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's outstanding, ridiculous speeds that we're going here. And as you mentioned before, I mean, it's a holiday weekend. People are heading home. We just got back ourselves not too long ago, and the freeways are pretty packed right now. So this is extremely dangerous.
We've seen, Dave, CHP be very aggressive over this Thanksgiving maximum enforcement period. Of course, speeding is a serious crime, but I mean, we still haven't learned if this person is accused of doing anything else, maybe a little more dangerous, so to speak. But I mean, certainly these speeds warrant enough concern as to what they're running from.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to find out now. They find out from the original unit. I don't believe this is the original unit that started the initiating unit, and I think that's what they're trying to do now is get this their information, trying to get it connected. Because as we know, like we've seen before, there's so many CHP offices that they'll do like what they call a handoff to the next one, and when they do that, they have to pass the information.
And right now we're still westbound on the 10 here with this Grand Cherokee, as it's just slipping by all of these cars, just narrowly grazing by.
So scary.
And it's terrifying, weaving from far right lane to far left lane in the HOV lane. And that sense of perspective is all the more heightened when you look at the tracker in the top right corner of your screen, and it's been hovering at 100 plus, upwards of 130 miles per hour according to those numbers. And when you see how fast it goes by all the other cars that are on the roads,
scary.
right? Because we've been on freeways and highways for all of our lives, right? You know how fast you can get there, and then to see how fast this particular car is going just makes it all the more frightening. And oh, goodness.
I mean, you just hope too that CHP officers behind him, they're also having to weigh, Dave, right now, the public safety aspect of this, not just from that driver, but from their own driving. I mean, earlier today we saw a law enforcement, patrol unit trying to go through an intersection, lights and sirens on. Somebody maybe wasn't paying attention, didn't see, didn't hear. There was a, significant crash there, but that's what you're hoping to avoid in this situation, because I can imagine, I mean, we saw it yesterday. Remember when that one car just clipped the end of a Jeep and it did significant damage. They were only going 40 miles an hour. You do that in a car going 100 plus, and I'm assuming, Dave, spinouts are going to happen quite easily.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've seen them before, but that's all it does. And we were so lucky yesterday because it was a light tap, enough to do some damage to left rear, front right. But you're absolutely right about this one. I mean, if you're doing 100 plus miles per hour and everybody else is doing the legal speed limit, and you go to cut somebody and then you clip them, I mean, it's going to be worse than a police a pit maneuver.
Yeah.
You're going to spin them and maybe even send them end over end. We don't know, but yeah, that's one thing. And that's why I believe that's why we still have the nights on them.
Yeah.
CHP, as we know, has gotten, they're pretty aggressive on their pursuits. It's their freeway, so it's their call.
Yeah, very tense situation right now, Dave. I want to jump in. Sorry to cut you off about some more information we're being told right now. Pomona PD did confirm that they jumped on this pursuit at one point, then backed out, but that they're still trying to keep a canine in the area for CHP to use if they need it. So just to color in the lines a little bit more in terms of context with what's going on right now, as we're still on the 10, at least the indicators here, it's still westbound right now. I mean,
do we know, did it start in the Pomona area? Where is that kind of where we're thinking this all started with the speeding vehicle?
Yes, and it's and then like you had mentioned that that they went ahead and they tracked it for a while, and then they went ahead and pulled off because of the speeds that were involved. But once it gets on the freeway, they hand it off. Now, what'll happen at the end when they do take the suspect into custody, and we're all hoping this happens without any type of incident.
Because that was close.
We just clipped him, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not real sure.
And if they didn't clip, it was as close as you possibly could be.
Too? I can't tell.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty scary. Turn off the lights, so maybe we're going to ditch this thing right now. Let's see if we can get that nice one back on there.
It's really hard to tell.
It is.
Especially with the trees and everything else in the way,
looks
too.
like he was backing up.
And you got that air unit overhead, and so it's when I was flying too, you can maneuver that helicopter. You can get it into tight spots. Just a lot of left pedal collective. You can maneuver over it. And also, they may also be, sometimes you can hook up, there's a word for it, but you can hook up the night sun.
Yeah. Looks like he crashed into that fence, Dave. Are you seeing that? Looks like he tried to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I can't tell. Did he bail? Is the door closed? Is he still inside?
That one citizen's car pulled up there and says, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't look like there's that much damage. Where the suspect couldn't have gotten off and just took off on foot.
Right.
More than likely, yeah. Incredibly dark area,
Is it weird to me, though, that the doors closed? I know that, he could have closed it maybe on his way out, but a lot of times they're just trying to go. And I've noticed that most times, 9 times out of 10, the door is open because they bail as quickly as they can. Let's see if they clipped him. Oh, I think he just barely
It's hard to tell, but it dangerously close. But this is where it gets really dark and confusing. You can't even really make out because of all the obstacles, visual obstacles in the way.
I mean, he picked the perfect place as far as the air unit to not be able to really get a good, clear look at it. Very hard to see.
And that car, when it came around, it just did just kept coming around and around and around, like nobody was in control of it. It just went right into, I would assume, a fence there. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But there's a garage on the other side of the street that's open and the lights are on. So let's see here.
Can't tell if anybody's still in there.
No, it certainly doesn't look that way. And here comes CHP
officers.
and officers. So we'll at least get a closer look as the lights are shining on the driver's side door.
I can't tell if I'm seeing things, if it's the lights reflecting off of the dark tinted windows, but yeah, I mean.
We'll find out one way or the other here shortly whether or not they're on foot or not, because at least officers are approaching the vehicle, so they'll be at least able to secure that right now. But you know, it was hard to maintain a visual based on everything that happened in those last couple of minutes, because now we're in a similar situation as to last night, right? Where you have suspects bail out of a vehicle and then all of a sudden neighborhoods and backyards. So Dave, this goes back to your point about now in this moment, you're sort of establishing your perimeter and kind of, you know, locking things down so you can go beat by beat and make sure that you find this person, correct?
Yeah, just like last night, we don't know if he's got a friendly that lives in the neighborhood, and that's exactly why he came around that corner. And at what point did he jump out of the vehicle? Because that vehicle was on its own for all through that little arch. When he came out there, it looked like it was on its own. So he bailed out of that sector a little bit earlier. And like I said, all those houses are lit up. The one in the garage doors is open. So he may have a friend that lives in the vicinity. You know, it's just when you start asking people, just say, hey, what's going on? And then you got the FLIR overhead that I'm sure that TFO or TFD is out there, scanning the area. So we'll just see what's going to happen here. You know, they'll start looking at the type of crime and everything and see now, okay, is it worth all the time? Because it's a busy weekend. They're going to have to call the local agency to come in and help with that. And then, of course, Pomona PD said that they would supply the canine, so I'm sure they're en route.
Yeah. Well, and just for some perspective here, I mean, Pomona is about 25 miles east of, you know, where this San Gabriel Valley area is. Oh, it looks like they're going into the backyard of somebody's home with that light. See if they have maybe cornered him here.
He's trying to signal to his fellow officers.
Oh.
Being told we're in Alhambra, by the way, just for additional context at the moment.
Okay.
And, I mean, it seems like at least, you know, the good news is obviously the pursuit portion of this is over, the danger, because you get so nervous in those situations, because even in that moment where it almost looked like it clipped the white vehicle and then and maybe it didn't.
Yes.
It felt like that's just good fortune to avoid something cataclysmic happening in that moment. So now we're in a situation where we're just kind of making their way and trying to find this individual.
They may have spoken to a citizen, because citizens are very good about, telling, hey, I seen somebody run that way, because I think maybe that's what he was trying to signal with his flashlight. Because after that, they all grouped up and they put together a search party. So this may be what this is right now, what we're witnessing.
They seem to be kind of zeroing in on a specific area versus just kind of canvassing like they were earlier, you know, widely being able to go house by house. Now it appears maybe they were given a tip, they saw something, they heard something. We're going to continue to track this, Dave. I believe we've got to continue moving on as we see that they clear potentially this backyard. But of course, we are going to stay on top of it. If there's any more updates or developments, we'll come back out and be able to get your perspective on it, hopefully. But Dave, we appreciate your time tonight.
Yes, Dave, thank you.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
All right.
Take care. Take care. Bye.
Now, with the end of a pursuit that we saw just racing down the freeways here, you can see that suspect that was wanted for speeding that led CHP on a very dangerous pursuit now being taken into custody. Gio, we watched him get drug out of a bush by his arms just a few minutes ago.
With a significant response as well. When we want to show you the video from earlier, I believe, there on the right side of your screen. And when the arrest was happening, you see all the lights, the flashlights from the officers, a number of them. I know it's hard to make out because of how dark it is, and there's so much shrubbery around the area as well. We even had some difficulty on our end at first seeing where exactly the suspect was as he was pinned down to the ground and then eventually lifted and taken up, as it looks like he's getting put into the back of the CHP cruiser there on the left, or now full screen for you.
Yeah, I mean, this has been over an hour now. They, started the pursuit. It went on the freeway. I mean, upwards of 110, 115 miles per hour at times, just extremely dangerous there. And then he just pulls off the freeway, almost clips a car as he exits the freeway, and then ditches that car after running his Jeep into a fence. And then what we assume, it was hard to tell because of all the trees being in such a dark neighborhood, but he just took off and was hiding in a bush.
And didn't take that much longer, relatively speaking, because that was right around 6:30, 6:33.
Good point.
When we left off of it, and officers were still in pursuit, so to speak, of looking around the neighborhood trying to find the suspect. So about 15 minutes or so is what it took before they eventually managed to pull him out of that tree or bush and arrest him, and now take him into custody. So it seems like this is all wrapped up here in Alhambra, and we'll certainly catch you up on all of the details as the rest of the night proceeds. But what an end to a very crazy and dangerous chase.
Behind, in custody and going to be behind bars soon.
All right.